I do want to dive into the area that we haven't touched yet, which is your journey to sobriety. That's a big part of your story. You're very open about it. Can we talk about that a little bit?
That gives me chills just thinking about how big of a part of my story it is. And as I was writing the book, I knew that I was going to have a part in the book, maybe a chapter that turned into a section about what I call toxic coping strategies in the book, which alcohol was for me. But what I didn't know was that when I finished the book and I reread it a million times, of course, that it was woven so much throughout who I was, what I thought of myself, what I had been exposed to, directly and indirectly from people close to me and society and the messages that it sent about alcohol for me in particular. And the sobriety decision came along with what I reference as dumping out the jar in the book. When we moved to Florida, we took the concept from Stephen Covey's Habits of Highly Effective People.
Good book.
Where he uses the jar analysis or the jar analogy as a time management tool. You know, the big rocks are the most important things. The pebbles are the things that need to get done, but they're not essential. And the sand are the things that take up your time. And I love that. And I love that as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. But then I thought, gosh, it's deeper than that. It's about meaningfulness. And I need to make sure that I have my jar full of the most meaningful rocks first before it's full of sand and things that mean nothing to me. Because when we moved to Florida, my jar was full of sand and all of the big rocks were laying on the outside. And I'm like, well, no wonder I find myself in this position. So we call it dumping out the jar. And one of the rocks that was taking up a lot of space in my jar and didn't belong there was drinking, partying, what that meant for me in my spare time and what it meant for me when I had, time for myself, what I was choosing to do, the aftermath of those choices, and also what it was doing for me and my spirit and in, how I felt about myself. It didn't belong. And so my husband actually stopped drinking before I did. In the book, I go into the details of that night. It was kind of a catastrophe. And when he stopped drinking, I was actually a little bit reluctant. I thought, I'm not the one with the problem. You're the one with the problem. And I went on to, be by his side and adopt, kind of that style of living anyway, because we were rebuilding our marriage and doing a lot of things intentionally. And then I found myself chugging a glass of wine, literally a glass of wine, chugging it like a shot. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not a problem per se, but maybe it's not the type of relationship with alcohol that I want to have. And then that put me in the reflection spiral of like, it's taking up a lot of space and it's not benefiting me. In fact, I'm not working with it very well. It doesn't belong. So then I followed suit with stopping drinking. And it's been 10 years, 10 and a half.
Congratulations. I mean, it's hard
Thanks.
to say congratulations because it's always a journey, but that's a great milestone. And
Thank
every
you.
day is like the first day, they say, right? So
That's right.
yeah.
I never would have guessed back then that 10 years later I would be, saying I've been alcohol free for 10 years. And I definitely wouldn't have anticipated all of the things over the last decade that have happened literally as a result of that one choice, because that one choice had a ripple effect on all of the other choices that I made.